You're such an asshole.
Hello, children. Got an interesting question, and I don't know if I can answer it. But the Manny that's a name, Olutunde writes, "Hey, Aaron, I enjoy listening to your content. Is there such a thing as a perfect man? Let's say a guy went to college and went for a good degree. That same guy also learned how to do the basics and all repair, plumbing, etc. Would that be considered a perfect man today?" Got it. Okay. So the real answer is no. There's no such thing as the perfect man because of several reasons. One, the concept of perfect is the enemy of good. Like no one can achieve perfection. All right. However you define it, we all poop, we all fart. We're all not 100%. No one bats 1,000. I mean, humans are flawed. I don't mean that in a religious or biblical sense. We just you've screwed up, I've screwed up. There's constant room for improvement. And so perfect being the enemy of good, what that statement is saying is that you cannot attain perfection, and in the pursuit of it, you will be bad. You'll not evil necessarily, but you won't be as good as you could be. And so, I kind of see that in my house where I could really do this, I could really do that. And I always keep saying to myself, you know what? Perfect is the enemy of good. At what point do I get to actually enjoy the house? There's like a little scratch on the trim. I should touch that up. Some dirt got in the garage. I should sweep that out. Well, okay, now it's no longer good. This house is not good because it's this obsession, the pursuit of perfection, which cannot ever be attained. Another thing is that perfection, aside from perfect being the enemy of good, perfect is not attainable. And about the only model we would have of perfection is because the Wisconsin Synod shoved this up my ass. Only Jesus was perfect. And they would perfection. I mean, like perfect. Only Jesus is perfect. Okay. I remember, let me show you why I'm going to hunt these people down. So I got 100% on my spelling test. I got all the questions right. And I remember the teacher, and in him, he said, and he, good job, but and literally 100%. But he wrote, only Jesus can be perfect. And if I was the person I am today, but what was I, 4th, 5th grade? But with my physique, I would go and punch him right in the face because it's so pretentious. And you see this a lot with Christian girls, born again or not, where they hold the men that they're dating but never committing to and never going to have sex with to Jesus. And the reason they do this because they know he's unattainable, and it'll put the man in this constant state of perpetual self-improvement, not only for necessarily his own sake, but so that they slave away for the girl and that the girl has lording and positioning and power over him. Because at any point, the guy could be amazing and great, and the girl, well, you're not Jesus. You failed in this regard. And, most Christian men are pussies. So, oh, I'm sorry. What did I do wrong this time? I'll try harder. I have failed. And so perfection is just unattainable. And then the other thing is, well, what is perfection? According to who? And for what audience? Perfect in the eyes of who? If it's your boss, the perfect employee would show up, work overtime, not demand pay. But that same person would be immediately divorced by his wife. What if you're going to be the perfect husband for your wife? You'll be divorced in about a second. Because if you do everything your wife says, because what do girls want? More. You'll never attain. But or if we could be not even more realistically, equally absurd in a different regard. What if you became the perfect man? You were Ryan Reynolds and you made $50 billion and this and that. Well, Ryan Reynolds, I think he's only 6'2". Well, what if there was a 6'3" Ryan Reynolds and a 6'4"? And Ryan Reynolds made $50 billion. Well, why not 51? And Ryan Reynolds, presume, from his creative works and art. He's very entrepreneurial, but also if you watch Deadpool, he's incredibly funny. But is he as funny as Norm Macdonald? And so there's no, and that's one girl who likes Ryan Reynolds. Other girl would be no, Hugh Jackman, or the other girl's like no, Jason Momoa, no, this guy, that guy, and all these. So what is and then may I introduce something? What is not perfect? What is not the perfect man in your mind? But what is the best you could possibly be? And I think because it's your life, and you're the one that gets to live it and endure it either for good or bad. I would argue that if there is going to be the idea of a perfect man, it is your interpretation of the perfect life. Like you aim for it. Again, you're never going to get 100%. You're going to drive drunk and get that Dewey. You're going to, hang on. Boy, my throat just got dry right there. But what, I would say after much trial and error, I got kind of as perfect a life as this is going to be. I got my nice little house, got my vehicles all running, place is clean. Is there something else I'd like to do? Yeah, I would like to. I don't know. I mean, what is it? Could I have more money? Of course, you could always have more money. But I would say since perfection is impossible, it varies person to person and context to context. And most people don't necessarily have your best interest at heart. Forget what perfection is. I would say just go for the best you can be. Just be the best you can be. That is the practical definition of perfection. And the best at what? The best at what you want to do. Now, I'm not saying become a drug addict and I'm the best I'm the best fat guy ever. No. What life you want to live. And things like here you say, okay, let's say a guy went to college to get a good degree. With the same guy also learned to do basic auto repair, plumbing, etc. Would that be considered a perfect man today? Maybe by society standards, and I wouldn't even say by society standard. They'd all probably want you to vote Democrat and pay more in taxes and be sensitive but masculine, but protect the family but not use guns. All these impossible things. You would be a contributing member to society. You would be a productive individual, but I don't think you'd be perfect. They're always, what do girls want? More. They will always find something not wrong even necessarily, but missing. Wouldn't it be nice to have this? Wouldn't it be nice to have that? And so I would say, well, let's define it this way. There's your own perfect self. The self that you would like before you die, and we would define attainable perfection, not pure perfection, because that's not attainable, but attainable perfection would be when you're on your deathbed and you had no regrets. Like, nope, I did the best I could do in whatever capacity in regards. So maybe you want to work out or you want to win a MMA fight, or, it could be a college degree. It could be a very competent tradesman or carpenter. But, up to you, whatever it is. And so when you look at yourself on the deathbed or in the mirror on the deathbed, like bring a mirror in here. Why? So I can look at myself on my deathbed. And you look and you have a conversation. You did good, kid. You did good, champ. There wasn't one stone unturned. You did it all. All right. You die with a smile on your face. I prefer to die in the throes of passion with my face planted right in the cleavage of the girl. That's right there. That's how I want to go. I don't want to have a conversation with myself. And I think that is what you should aim for. Because invariably, let's say you are very selfish. How dare you not think about society and only yourself? If you excel in various things and categories and die with no regrets, you probably became a pretty darn good man on top of it for society. So I would aim for that. But then if you're concerned about what society wants, it's not attainable. No one's going to agree on it. But, it sounds like in the pursuit of women, you got to be 6'2". 6 is not ideal. 6'2" would be perfect. You get to 6'4", women start thinking that's too tall. All right, so we're going to say 6'2". What's really low body fat? 12%? Is that low body fat, guys? I don't know. Whatever you get 6-pack abs, that's your body fat percentages. If we're going for perfection, you can't be a millionaire. You must be a billionaire, because that's the current denomination. Would perfection mean you're the richest man of all time? Yeah, I guess. You must have a prestigious job or title. It was why I threw Sterling Cooper on the cover, because he looks so perfect. Yeah. Oh, and you better have a good British or Australian accent. Yep. Don't you have this American accent stuff? No, you better sound like Troy Francis or Sterling Cooper. What else? You better be funny. You better be the world's most interesting man. You better have this. You better have, and then inevitably, forget it. If you want to be good enough for society, don't collect a check from the government. Don't be a parasite. Have a job, profession, skill, or a trade. Be in good physical shape, and not even necessarily for the women's or the girls saw, but so when you go out in public, you're not blight. You're not a physically revolting person. You're not a negative externality. You don't make people like, ooh. All right. People are pleasant. They're happy, not happy, but like, oh, look at that guy. He's well dressed, maybe even. And don't commit any crime. And not only don't commit any crime, but even if things are illegal, if they're immoral, don't do that. Do not harm other people. And that's about as good as you can hope to get. And that would be like Ward Cleaver. Ew, grody. He's so boring and predictable and reliable. Yeah, but he's a good guy. And you could sleep with yourself. You could go to bed. You'd be like, yeah, a good guy. So, all right. Any super chats. Subscribe if you will. Ahmed, $2. Cap, what are your thoughts on Pittsburgh? Ed Lattimore's there. I've never been through Pittsburgh. I don't know. But I guess people really like it. Philadelphia is the crap hole of all of Pennsylvania, but I guess Pittsburgh had a renaissance. It was the steel company or steel town. And I guess they had an IT revolution. I guess people like it. One of the few major metros that hasn't turned into a leftist crap hole. I'm sure they have bad neighborhoods, but go check it out. Yeah, Napalm. Yeah, he's like, Pittsburgh sucks. Democratic Catholic. Well, he lives there. I don't know. Ed seems to like it all right. That's it. All right, there you guys go. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.